We're here. We're here. We're on. Thunderpop live, late night with Thunderpop, 9:27 p.m. Going on a little later than expected. I was juggling some stuff, finishing up a commercial that actually I can't talk about it yet because they have to approve the commercial before I talk about it. Because you were asking about that before the show. It's a secret. I can talk about this it's for gaming. It's gaming related, and that's about it at the moment. But once they approve it, it's out to the public. I can post it anywhere I want. And they want me to post it all over the place, splattered all over the interwebs.
Not
until it's approved, though. Yeah. We're here. We had some technical difficulties. Then I had to put the kid to bed, and the kid didn't want to go to bed. He refused to eat. He always does this. He's the king of stalling.
Resist.
He resists. He's great at resisting, but he'll like, I'm not hungry. And then he'll eat a little bit, but he won't eat all of his meal. Then about the time he's about to go to bed, he says, I'm hungry. So he gets more time up that way. Tricky. Slick. We're going to have a Thunderpop Extra right now in your living rooms, in your bathrooms, in your bedrooms. We're about to have, wherever your smartphone and you are at, we're going to talk Dune. Now, we were on hiatus. I took a big break over the fall after we did our Johnny Lightfoot tribute episode. I took a big break and worked on short form videos and social media, other stuff. Launched the business, so it was pretty busy. And Reed over here next to me and him we did go see the Dune sequel, or not the Dune sequel, the Dune
Part 1
remake reboot. We went and saw the new Dune movie that was delayed for over a year, and we finally went and saw it on IMAX. And we're like, we can't wait to come back and talk about this. But by the time we come back and talk about it, anyone that really wanted to see it will have seen it. So we're just going to cover the sequel. We're going to talk about the Dune sequel. We'll also talk about the politics of Dune. We'll talk about the story and what, a lot of what went into creating the story, the motivations from the writer. So yeah, and Reed being a big Dune fan is like, yeah, let's do that show. So we're doing the Thunderpop Extra, talk about Dune, the sequel that's on the way for Dune. And Judson Davenport coming in said Chewbacca sends Reed a dick pic.
It's just one long hairy ball. Something hairy.
I'll Google that, but we'll see if we can find that.
I don't think it's a good idea. I don't think it's a good idea.
There's some stuff. Have you ever looked up Star Wars porn?
No.
No, you've
seen you talk about there.
I think you've seen some Star Wars porn. Reed at his new location, his new headquarters, Reed Central, underground, out in the boonies.
Out in the boonies, man.
He's off the grid. He's at an undisclosed location now. He's been in an undisclosed location for several months. Place looks good in the back. I have no idea where it's at. But then Judson went on to say, no, it's a red rocket, of course.
I
knew that.
Good to hear.
I knew that. It's good to hear from Judson. Yeah, I hadn't talked to Judson in a while. While Judson made a photo for me after Johnny passed away, we showed it on the show where Judson, Johnny, and Dan Murphy, Johnny Lightfoot, are the Force Ghost at the end of Return of the Jedi.
What?
He made a picture where it made him into the Force Ghost.
Oh wow!
I've got that here. I'll pull that out if I can find. I won't pull that out.
Don't pull a Chewbacca penis out. Don't pull that out.
Oh wait, here it is. Look.
Yeah, show me.
But now this was Judson's idea. I had Yoda still in the middle. He made Gus, the pug, Yoda.
Dude, that's awesome, man.
That was the genius of Judson Davenport to think of that, to cover that idea. But there's Johnny and then Dan, the Force Ghost at the end of Return of the Jedi. So he made that for him. I want to get that actually printed. It's cool.
That's a good picture. That's a good picture.
Yeah, so thank you, Judson.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's pretty cool. We're going to talk. Judson's great. He, Photoshop mastermind. He's a mastermind at Photoshop. We're going to go into Dune. We're going to do the opening credits. We got a lot of Dune talk. Here's a clip from the movie, from the Dune remake, the 2021 Dune. Here's a clip of the Baron. Did you like the Baron, Reed?
Oh yeah, like he's yeah.
Good and evil?
Yeah,
Dark?
no, I wouldn't say evil.
Not
Yeah,
evil. He's got
according to him, he's doing the right thing. You know,
He is.
Oh,
The Baron.
yeah, you sent me that. I like that one. That was like,
No, but see, that's actually a real photo, though. That's not even a joke. That's Joe Rogan and like one of those ice baths.
oh God, wow.
But this is the real
That is
Baron.
yeah, that's the same picture. It's
the same picture. That's the Baron also taking a bath.
Yeah. Wow, that's such a great.
Is that the guy? Is that the actor's real body, or they got him in a prosthetic?
No, they got him in a bodysuit. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because this guy was, I mean, look at this guy's shoulders.
Well, he's a tall guy. The actor. I think he's from. He's Scandinavian. I think I'm not sure he's Swedish or I think he's Swedish. I think.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Now,
yeah, he's a talented guy.
You know when they wanted to make Jodorowsky's Dune, and that became a documentary.
Yeah, that I don't think that would have worked.
Well, here's the thing: they were going to make that before the movie that was made in the 80s. 85. They were planning this other movie. He was planning his movie before that movie, right? Before the one they ended up making. Do you think it would have worked? Marlon Brando could have played the Baron?
No, I think it would have been just another. No, I don't think it would have worked because it wouldn't have been Frank Herbert's Dune. It would have been Jodorowsky's Dune.
Mm-hmm.
So like this is the first time. Even the TV show on Sci Fi was good too, but it's like this particular Dune is Frank Herbert's Dune. And I think that the director was he would refer to the Bible. He called it, you know.
Mm-hmm. So it's Jeff's idea. That's right. I forgot about that part. It was actually Jeff that came up with the idea of using it. Sorry, Jeff, taking your credit away.
My name is Jeff.
It was Jeff's idea to do the Pug Yoda. We need to get. We're feeling brave. We get them all back in the studio.
Yeah, we need to get Jeff here.
I mean, we get Judson, Jeff, you. That's
there's not enough fresh air in there for that.
When's the last time you talked to Jeff lately?
Oh, I haven't talked to him in a while. But you know, I always harass Jeff to talk about DMT and all that kind of crap.
You've been busy though. You've been busy with all this stuff going on.
Trying to be busy.
Yeah, those stuff. So okay, and Jeff's been busy too, I believe. So all right, we'll do the opening, and then we're gonna get into Dune talk. This Thunderpop Extra is our second live of the new season. Here goes.
It's time for Thunderpop. Don't make me say it again. Thunderpop, Thunderpop, Thunderpop. I will not say it again. Thunderpop. Okay, I lied. Thunderpop, 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 oh, Thunderpop.
Yeah. Here we are. The one and only, if I haven't given him his proper introduction yet, his proper respect, the one and only Reed Charles sitting next to me. There you go. That's why I had to set it up. Give you a chance to do your catchphrase. Reed there. Reed. Reed in the house. Reed Charles, the one and only Reed. Feed the Reed Charles is virtually in the Thunderpop Dome, coming from his new bunker in the ground. He's underground right now, hiding out
somewhere in Kansas.
Somewhere in Kansas. He's in the boonies.
Feed the Reed. Feed the Reed.
Yeah, I bought
Feed the Reed.
I bought a silo.
Every time you start to talk, I'm just going to do this. I'm going to hit the button. Here we go. Ready?
Feed the Reed.
Okay.
Bought a military silo in Kansas.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Oh boy. Well, it's good to have a familiar face back here. I always said that if I ever became famous, the first thing I would need to bury to not get canceled is this man next to me and
Oh,
anything that I've ever done with him.
what do you
I
what,
would have
what
to,
do you mean?
I would have to
Oh,
flush it away from existence.
all
To
the
not,
all the other incriminating audio of
yeah, all the incriminating audio, I would have to, and if there's anything I would ever have to, what's the term? Denounce. I denounce when you
Look, man,
discon.
we've grown since then, and I've expanded my mind since then. So
Yeah,
I'm
you
not,
have, you've been on a, would you call it a spiritual journey since
yeah,
our
mhm. Religious.
pre-pandemic.
Yeah, I would say November of 2020. Yeah, spiritual and religious experience that has really changed my thinking.
Yeah, and I think we're going to cover that too because it's definitely it overlaps into the Dune talk
There's
that
quite a few things. Yeah, pretty cool.
we're going to be getting into. So yeah, it'll be a fun show. Yeah. All right.
That's good.
Okay. In regards to it, really is it being a fun show. Oh, hey. Oh, by the way, Reed, in a couple, we're just a day, 1-2 days away from. And I got a clip. This is okay. So if you don't want anything from Spider-Man No Way Home to be spoiled,
Oh,
look away, because I have exclusive photo leak from the movie that was emailed to me today from a reliable source. It's a
wow.
photo still that was not in any of the trailers. Okay.
Holy crap. Show it, show
Okay.
it.
If there was any question whether that was the real Doctor Strange
Mm.
or not that Peter Parker's talking to in those trailers, I think this has cleared it up. There it is.
Is he throwing the finger on his face?
Let's see. Yeah, what is he? Was he?
No,
Is, like,
that's his index finger. So
is that smell my finger? Is that the smell my finger?
I think it is. Yeah. It's like
That scene made it into the movie. Was it just smell my finger, Peter Parker?
that is fucking legit.
See that pretty much establishes that it is the real Doctor Strange, right? And he tells Peter to
smell my finger.
Which finger was it? Was it this finger?
Yeah, it was the index finger.
Index finger. It's like
you could count his knuckles.
would you? Oh boy,
Smells like
potty. There's a little clip there. Also,
water.
Justin says if there is a general discussion, famed comic book artist George Perez announcement a few days ago would be a good topic. Do you know what he's talking about?
No.
Judson, enlighten us on that, or send me a link.
George Perez.
Artist? I'm assuming it's Dune related. His news story.
Yeah, I did see that there were some Dune comics.
You think it's a new Dune comic that's coming out?
Well, there's quite a few. Some of them cover House Atreides. One covers Arrakis, Dune. Yeah, I was tempted to want to get those. I was like, no. I get more important things. But,
where would you? I mean, how would you have to order them online? Where would you have gotten them?
I think so. Yeah, because I don't know where you would be able to find those because they've been out for a while. There's about 20 of them out there. I think.
Would the comic book store in Austin have them? The local place?
They might. Yeah.
They might. Yeah. That's cool. I took Micah there one day because he wanted to start a Superman. Was it Austin Books and Comics?
Yeah.
I took Micah over there months ago because he wanted a Superman action figure.
Oh,
and we went all over that store and you couldn't get. I mean, they had the big ones. They're like these special edition ones, but
they really expand out. I'm really happy to see that they're still around because I've given them a lot of money over the years, but I stopped on that stuff. It's like no.
Yeah, they've managed to hold on through a time when it's really been a tough stretch for comic books for the industry. They've been able to hold on. I think it's because they have you either go all in and you offer something really premium in terms of the experience, or you're just not going to make it now.
Well, look at all the comic book stores that were closed down. There were so many of them that got shut down.
Yeah, and video stores, like all the video stores closed down during COVID that were left.
All that stuff got shut down, and It's like, fuck, man. It's like it just sucks. It's, yeah, fuck. It's just work. You got to find work. It sucks.
Did you watch the documentary about the last blockbuster in Washington, D.C.?
Yeah.
Not Washington, D.C., Washington State.
I've heard of it. Yeah, someone mentioned it. I'm watching the video somewhere, but they mentioned that there's still one open, but it's in Canada apparently.
This one's Northwest United States.
Oh,
the one they did the documentary on.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
it's interesting how they keep it like how they hold it together and manage to keep
I love video. I love video shut down, right? Like, damn.
Yeah, I talked to Conrad. Conrad is the owner of I talked to him months ago,
Conrad, yeah.
And I was supposed to have him on the show sometime. He was gonna do the show.
Oh, dude, that'd be so cool.
He'd be a good guest, but yeah, we just haven't made it scheduled yet. But he was going to come on, but yeah, he closed it. He was trying to sell it. I think there was still a chance of it being sold, like the brand, the name, and the library. Someone buying. He wants someone that's going to keep the library available and not just hoard it.
Yeah,
I know I can talk about that because he was pretty open about that information. He says, I want to sell it. I've got offers, but I don't want to just sell it to some rich dude that wants to take the library and hoard it. I want somebody that's going to continue to make it available to the public.
That was one job that I really enjoyed working. I worked there for like 9 months, I think it was. Yeah, that was. It didn't pay shit though, but it was when I started working for them years ago. God, that was in 2003, I think it was 2002. And when I worked for them, it was what's this? Justin saying something? It was. I thought I knew about movies. I didn't know shit about movies, and so I started working there. I was like,
oh gosh, those guys know so much about movies. I don't even pretend to claim I know. I enjoy it and have a passion for it, but I don't claim to know as much as those guys know. Knowing Reed's love of comics, he might be interested. Perez is famous for drawing the Avengers and the Justice League JLA comics. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Well, check into that. We'll check into that. Find out. Well, I'll look at it. I know he sent a link, so I'll try to copy the link over and see if I can look it up.
Probably drawing pictures of Chewbacca's penis. Probably.
He's probably got.
You gotta check it out, Reed. You gotta check it out, Reed.
I think that's what the link is. I think he actually drew the pictures of Chewbacca's naked body, and he's of his privates, and he's put it on. He's got a host. A website hosting the photos. So as soon as I share the screen, it's going to open it up, and he's going to be like, I got you, fuckers.
Harry Cox. Harry Cock and balls.
Exactly what he's done. Fucking Jetson.
He's just trying to trick us into looking at fucking naked pictures of Chewbacca.
He's going to get us one way or the other. He's going to get us. Okay, I'm going to dive into Dune. We saw this beautiful movie in October. I saw it. I think within the first week, we went to IMAX and saw it. And this is one of those movies. I don't go to IMAX for everything, but this was one of the ones I was like, this movie needs to be seen on IMAX. We didn't do the 3D because I don't think the 3D was necessary, but the IMAX definitely enhanced the experience. You had already watched it on the small screen before we saw it, so you missed a few things you got to see on the big screen. But when you watched it on the small screen, I'm sure there's some things you had time to pause.
Oh yeah, and
look at again. So it was kind of a pros and cons to watching it both ways. But one of the things is that Denis Villeneuve uses the entire screen when he makes a movie. I noticed this when I watched Blade Runner 2049 also on IMAX. He uses the entire screen, and I've always liked filmmakers, storytellers that use their entire palette, and they have artists that use the entire frame, and filmmakers that use the entire frame, and there's things going on. So you go back and you watch the film multiple times so you can see, because there was different parts of the story being told on screen in different parts of this, different parts of the frame, not certainly on every shot, every scene, but quite a bit. Like we mentioned the part about the Baron where he's up high, he's in the ceiling.
Yeah, when he's high.
And you have an IMAX, if you're not looking way up, You don't necessarily
Yeah,
see that. I was lucky I caught that. I was like, fuck, there's the bear.
Oh, there he is, right there.
He's way up there.
When I saw it, my monitor was too dark, and so I
Yeah.
didn't really get to see the worm really well, and I couldn't see
Yeah.
him up in the corner hiding. And so
Yeah.
IMAX, what it did was it's a little more. It was a little more light. I could see more.
Yeah, it had more light to it, and it was able to get everything there that was doing well. I mean, Denis Villeneuve can do no wrong at this point for me. I mean, he did such a masterful job with 2049 Blade Runner, and when I heard he was going to do Dune, I felt really comfortable that we're finally going to get it right with him doing it, with legendary, films and him together. I thought they would finally figure it out and get it right. What I was worried about was that if it would get to do the sequels.
You know that I've I might be on his movie, right? Did Noah?
What?
He remember Sicario? Remember Sicario?
Yes.
Okay, so you know that picture I'm talking about, right?
You were an extra in it.
I am not gonna claim that, but you know what picture I'm talking about, right?
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
I'm gonna grab it.
Can you pull it up and show us?
I don't know if I know how to do that, but
if you can send it to me on Facebook, I could probably get it on the show.
Yeah, let me get this. Let me see if I can find
Okay.
it.
Yeah, you can get it on there. You can probably get it in. I got a couple.
Because it's like, yeah, that could be me.
I got a couple of pictures here. This is from the Dune film, 3 of the Stars. Quite a cast in this film, and the costumes were unbelievable.
Yeah.
The sets, the art design. I think this film is going to walk away with at least a couple of Oscars for visual and technical categories. Damn, I'd give it to Villeneuve for director. I don't know who else is going to be going up against that this year, but I hope this gets the same treatment as Mad Max Fury Road.
Yeah.
Because Mad Max Fury,
same category.
Mad Max Fury Road is one of those movies that not typically that genre of movie is not typically a movie that gets considered for Oscar, but Mad Max Fury Road broke that mold of what you expect from fantasy, sci-fi, dystopia type movies, and this movie I think deserves the same treatment.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And I think for actor, I think for lead actor, I think for supporting actor, I would give Oscar Isaac for best supporting actor. I would give Timothée Chalamet for best actor for nominating. I don't know if they would win, but I would nominate them both. And Denis Villeneuve for best director.
Definitely. Well, you also think about cinematography, music.
Yeah. They're gonna get some of those categories.
Okay, I just sent you the picture.
I have to.
Because I remember when I first saw that, I was like, yeah, I could totally claim that picture. So I just sent you the picture.
I think I saw this a long time ago and I forgot. Okay, I saw you send it. I'm gonna go look. I'll get
it's just there's a lot of things about that movie that there's the Bene Gesserit, what they talk about. Because after learning about Dune, I was kind of like, what is this? What's the big hubbub about this whole Dune thing? And then I realized, oh damn, they're talking about DNA. And then of course, when I saw
wait, okay, I got a picture. I got the picture resent.
Who's that?
Is it over here on the far, for the people viewers, it would be on the far right?
Yeah, if you watch it, you'll see. So I could claim that I was on a Denis Villeneuve movie.
You could put it on your resume. Nobody could fight you on it.
It's just an extra. That's all it is. But that's what I'm saying about this movie. Really, when I started learning about the whole story of Dune, and I'm like, oh crap. And we'll talk about later in one of the questions, as far as what line of dialogue triggered something for me when it came to, Bufo and ayahuasca. I'll tell you what I found out about that.
Yeah, and we're going to be covering that. We're going to ask the 5 questions that people are asking online that they want answered in the sequel, or they're hoping that will be answered in the sequel. And Reed knows the answers to some of these questions, or to maybe all of them. So we're going to Reed these questions. We're not even going to pull the answers from the article that I took this from. We're just going to have Reed's just going to riff on it. Steven, I love your analysis. Spot on, bro. Also, being a filmmaker, my advice is definitely watch a movie for the first time without pausing it. Okay.
Yes.
That's sound advice.
Mhm.
The first time you watch it, absolutely watch it, enjoy it in the pace, in the way the director wants, intended to be, the story to be told. But then you go back the second time as a movie buff, and
Yeah,
you,
you can analyze it. Yeah, I think it was the one thing. I never read the books. I'm not going to claim that. And so when I hear other people talk about it, the one thing they talk about the most is the dinner scene.
mhm.
And so that was interesting when they brought that up, and I was like, oh, I didn't know about that. There's a dinner scene where there were some Harkonnen or Harkonnen, I guess how you say it, but there were some Harkonnen there still living there, businessmen. So there's some other details about that are not covered. And that was like, I think that out of all the people who have read the book, what I heard from them was the biggest complaint that the dinner scene wasn't in there. And it did seem kind of rushed a little
Yeah.
bit. There wasn't enough time between
Yeah.
Duke Atreides and his concubine, is it Lady Jessica? There wasn't enough time with them too. I kind of felt that also, that there wasn't enough time.
Yeah.
But there needed to be more of a couple relationship there. I didn't see that a whole lot. I wanted more of that too.
Yeah. So that's one of your complaints. If you had a few nitpicks, those are going to be a couple of complaints you had about.
Yeah, it's just I wish the movie was longer. That's
Yeah.
It's not a nitpick because I want more.
Do you think they might put out a director's cut of it with an extra, 30 or 40 minutes of footage? Is that
there is some cut footage. What was the character? The one that could the chubby guy,
Mhm.
that puts his eyes out. He's like basically a human computer. There's actually a scene where they capture him. There's a deleted scene where they capture him.
Yeah.
And I think it was Secrets of Dune on YouTube has been releasing a lot of these pictures. Like, I don't know where he's getting this information from, but he's got a good source. This deleted picture scenes is what he has, and actually artist concepts of what's it? That's Secrets of Dune on YouTube. He almost got banned because he was showing, basically trailers that everyone else is showing, and he got in trouble or something. But I hope he stays on.
Like trailers leaks, or were they actual trailers that were already out?
Trailers that are already out. Maybe it was the music or something. Maybe he didn't do the proper cropping of the video or something. But there was something he got in trouble with or something. But he's a good guy, and I like what he puts out, because there's also there's another guy, the black guy with the glasses, kind of nerdy. He does Dune stuff too, and both of them is who I go to. Also, Nerd Cookies too. Nerd Cookies is another one I go to when it talks about Dune.
Yeah,
she did.
There's so many weird rules about what you can play and the way you can play it. I mean, we got in trouble. We got a claim for doing a trailer reaction months ago. Me and Jazz One did a trailer reaction, and I went back and talked to my buddy Chris Cassidy from Geek News Now, because they do trailer reviews all the time, and they don't ever seem to have any problems. And I figured out what we did was we watched it directly off of YouTube, like we did a shared screen, and then I played the trailer directly from a YouTube channel, like a trailers channel on YouTube. And
you didn't put your face in there or anything, or did you?
We just played it like a shared screen, like we just opened it up on another window of my computer.
Were you in the frame too?
We were in the frame. We were on like split screen with the trailer, but I think that somehow YouTube knew that we were running it on another YouTube show live off of a YouTube channel. They somehow have a way of telling that, and then it gets flagged. But if you download the video to your hard drive, that's what we've done since then. We've downloaded the video to our hard drive.
Oh.
And then I put it into my folder, and then I just play it. I put it on the show from my folder rather than from the internet.
Okay.
In the YouTube channel. And there I haven't had any problems. But what I've seen, like, lawyers do video. There's actually lawyers with channels on copyright and what you can do and can't do. Yeah, and they get tons of views. And they always say you have to alter it in some form or fashion. We do it with the sound really low. That's what I started doing.
Well, there's nothing too. You've seen how they use the square. I've seen it's also that they actually have a square, but that they change the angle of it.
So that's another technique.
That's another way. As long as it looks different or
somehow it's altered.
Yeah, because I noticed some of them actually put it on a screen like a theater. It had little chairs in front of it. Like it's
Oh,
different.
yeah.
So I've seen that too. There's ways to get around it because mainly you want to talk about the trailer but not get in trouble.
Yeah.
That's the kind of the whole idea because you're a fan of it and you want to
The,
talk about
the key is to do some kind of altering so it's changed it for in some form or fashion, not just showing it straight off the straight off the interweb. Okay, we got it right here. Some questions.
it. Uh-oh.
The 5 questions. The actual article comes credit from GameRant.com, and the article was called Dune, 6 questions we hope are answered in the sequel, but we're actually dropping one of the questions. So it's actually for our show, 5 questions we hope are answered in the sequel. Okay, let's get into it. All right, number one on our list, I'm going to ask Reed. This is a question we hope is answered in the sequel. Will it be answered, and what will the answer be? What is the Emperor's endgame? And will that be answered in the sequel, or will they wait and save it for a 3rd movie? That's another
No,
question.
it'll be answered in the second part 2. Yeah.
Okay. So
what
what is the Emperor's endgame?
Well, just sees like what the house Duke, actually Baron, what the Baron said. He's a very jealous and powerful man, right?
Yeah.
He basically just like the Baron and the Emperor knew the whole plot, knew the whole story because the Emperor is jealous of House Atreides, and so he wants him to fight, and it's a setup. And House Atreides knows that too, which is kind of fucked up. You can't do anything, and you can't refuse the word of the Emperor either. And that's not. No, you can't. No, that Baron cannot refuse the word of the Emperor.
Earlier, you made the statement the Baron is not evil. What did you mean? What do you mean? What is he if he's not evil?
Well, it's just a yin and yang.
Yeah.
It's like there's no good or no evil. Like when an asteroid hits a planet, was that good or bad? That's just the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
So like the same as like World War II, where the soldiers in Nazi Germany that were not Nazis, whatever, they were soldiers, were they for the greater good, or were they drafted? It's always for the greater good. So it's like you can pick any soldier throughout history. Those are evil soldiers. Well, and according to them, they were doing the right thing. So it's a yin and yang kind of thing. I can't say ISIS soldiers, are they evil? Probably, but they feel they're doing the right thing. So I don't think the Baron is evil. He's just doing, because look at his gluttony, right? He just consumes. And when you look at the planet he comes from, was it something Prime? What's it called? I forget his planet's called something Prime. Mm-hmm. Giddy Prime. That planet is ruined because they just consumed the entire planet. And so a lot of these, when you look at the whole makeup, that's another thing that's kind of weird too, because you're basically talking about human history, 34,000 years in the future when Dune takes place. And you have a feudal system that has come back to human existence. There's no more republics, no more democracies, right? Which is kind of weird. So this feudal system, there's like 200 houses. There's like 180 houses or something like that. And every single house, not all houses have multiple systems.
Yeah.
And so like the top 5 or top 10, well, the ones we know of is the Emperor's house, House Harkonnen, and House Atreides. And each one of them have a multiple system that they possess, whatever. But not all the houses have that. And so this feudal system has come back in. So when you talk about Harkonnen, they basically had, what do you call it? Remember when Atreides said, "This is my realm now; I control it," and the Emperor can take it and give it away all he wants.
Mm-hmm.
It's all up in the whim of the Emperor. There will be some like you could sue. You could sue. Like the same thing. Did you watch that movie with Ben Affleck, where he fights? What's his Kylo Ren? What's that movie called? You know what I'm talking about? That new movie.
Kylo Ren.
It was a new movie where
he was in the Last Jedi. You're talking about the actor Adam Driver.
Adam Driver and I have it right here. Hold on. But basically, I forget. Yeah, Ben Affleck and him in a movie. I forget what the movie's called. I'm gonna look it up right now. But in that movie right there, that was The Duel. I think it was called The Duel. It was like
I did not see that, but I was interested in that film. I saw that. I remember that it came out recently. You watched it?
Yeah, it's good. So that one right there, like. The prince.
Lynette Osborne, by the way, sent the comment. What is VASF.tech?
Oh shit!
Is that
hacking shit.
some?
I don't
Is
know what
that
that is.
some?
Vasatech?
Is that some Dune stuff?
No, it's probably trying to get us to say that and get a plug in. I don't know.
Get a plug in. It worked.
It worked, suckers.
Oh gosh, I've gotten trolled on lives before. People have tricked me a couple times into saying some shit because they would send me a comment and I'd be there reading that like, oh, so and so, and I'll suck. Oh wait, there's like next thing I'm talking about sucking something, and then I was like, you guys got me, sons of guns. Just like Judson trying to get us to navigate over to a.
Yeah, looking at fucking dirty dick pics of fucking Chewbacca. I'm not gonna do it, sir. I'm not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. Not gonna do it.
Yeah. Not gonna fall for it, Judson. Not today. He's not gonna fall for it.
Yeah, so I
okay,
think what I'm really hoping for is the Emperor is played by Mads Mikkelsen. God, I really, really hope it's Mads Mikkelsen.
Is that being talked about? Has that been rumored?
Yeah, it's a fantasy, but I really want him to be the Emperor because I'm a big fan of his stuff. He's from Denmark.
So you think that's who you think would be the perfect casting for it?
That's who should be. Because when
Yeah.
you see Mads Mikkelsen on his first movie, God damn, I was terrible with names of movies. Mads Mikkelsen was in a movie where he had 0 lines.
That's where we need Conrad from I Love Video. He should
Yeah,
just
it was.
be. He would know these things right off the
God
hip.
damn it, man! It was a play where he played a Viking pretty much, and he goes to the New World, and he had 0 lines in that thing, and he is fucking vicious, and so his character has always been kind of a tough guy. Now he would be perfect for the Emperor. Oh yeah.
Number two on the list. What is the meaning of this word Kwisatz?
Kwisatz Haderach? Yeah.
Yeah, Kwisatz Haderach. Kwisatz Haderach. What is the meaning of that? Will that be answered in the second movie read? First of all, will that be answered in the second movie?
Well, yeah, it was already kind of shown in this part 1 too.
Yeah, they were already getting
the Kwisatz Haderach.
Yeah.
And also the Baron's nephew is a Kwisatz Haderach too.
Mm-hmm.
And these, okay, you gotta think this. Okay, a little bit. Let me do real quick. When you think of spice, maybe we should answer that question too first.
Okay.
Like, what is spice, right?
Yeah.
But we'll come back to that. Anyway, so spice basically enhances human existence. It prolongs their life, it improves health, and for that particular group of women, the Bene Gesserit, it actually gives them the ability to go back in time and access memories from their mothers.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the mitochondria. That's mtDNA. I was like, ooh, what's this? That's what got my attention. So when they talk about this, because this is what's in real life. Men can do Y DNA testing, which is Y chromosomal DNA testing. We can do mitochondrial DNA testing, and we can do autosomal. There's 3 different DNA tests, right? Men can do all 3.
Mm-hmm.
Females can only do autosomal DNA, which is in the center, and mitochondrial. They can't do the Y chromosome because females are XX. No, females are XX, right? And men are XY. And so the females can only do the mitochondrial.
Mm-hmm.
So when they talk about this taking the spice and accessing memories from their mothers, that's the mitochondrial. And so, so they're trying to, over these 10,000 years, they're basically trying to create a female version of of them, basically, and that's the Kwisatz Haderach. And so they manipulated the families to have concubines and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. It's called manipulation over thousands of years. And Jessica was supposed to have a female, a Paulette, not a Paul, right? Mm-hmm. And that Paulette, whatever, Atreides, was supposed to marry the Baron's nephew, who played by Sting in the last movie, right?
Yeah.
That's what's supposed to happen. And so then their child would be the Kwisatz Haderach, right? And this is both mitochondrial and the Y chromosome. So not only can the man access the memories of his grandmothers, like we can, like men, now you can access the memories of the father, the Y chromosome. And I was like, so what Frank Herbert was talking about was DNA, and that how the spice allows you to access memory. Because when I do Y DNA testing, I access memories in a way to see how my lineage of grandfathers from Africa 400,000 years ago to now, and seeing what cultures existed during those locations. And I can tell you exactly, to 15,000 years ago, my grandfathers were in the Nordic Bronze Age. They were in that culture in Northern Europe at that time. I can tell you that, for example. Like if you were to do a Y chromosome, I could tell you and me, if you had a Y DNA chromosome, I could tell you, Stephen, that you and I have a grandfather at this particular time in history. Like this is our common grandfather going back, 20,000, 50,000, 6,000 years. With anybody in the world, I can tell you that.
Wow.
As long as you do a DNA test. So this answer to this question is the Kwisatz Haderach is both. To access not only the Bene Gesserit can access limited future precog. They're limited in their precog abilities to the future, but they can access the past. The Kwisatz Haderach can do both. He sees everything. He sees everything he can see. That's when you see in the movie. Remember he gets after his mom when he's in the tent because he sees them cheering, his father's death, whatever, or something. Like they're basically celebrating the Holy War. And that's another thing too. That's probably another thing we could talk in the future is that when Frank Herbert wrote this book, he basically said, "Be careful who you follow when someone's so charming." And then he's talking about politicians. And so because what Paul is doing as he's choosing, and later on his son, the God Emperor, right? Later on his son chooses what path is best for humanity, which if it means killing billions of people off, so be it. But it has to be done, right? And that's kind of the idea, is that they're choosing the best possible future for humanity. And Paul has that ability, and later his grandson would have that ability too.
We talked about this a little bit, but I could not remember if we covered this in our conversation after we saw the film. Is it publicly known if Frank Herbert did DMT?
You want to talk about
this
now?
Is it just speculated that he did DMT based on his storytelling about the spice?
I think he did psilocybin. That's what I think. Because when during the movie, remember when that one quote when he says, the guy he fought with, remember the guy he fought with and he killed?
Yeah.
That flashback or that memory he had was from another parallel universe where he was actually friends with him. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so what happened is that in another parallel universe, he was actually showing him how to ride a worm. And he tells him that line. He says, the mystery of life is not a problem to be solved. It's a reality to experience, right? Remember, that's one of the lines. And so that's what I'm talking about as far as like, he knows that information because he saw it, right? And when he fought him, he saw it too. He saw how he was going to basically kill him. He saw that. And so when it comes, what was the question? He said, so after I heard that line, that triggered a memory for me. And I was like, whoa, that's pretty deep. What's that about? And so I ended up, searching basically spice is DMT. And then I ran across a guy from England. He's a YouTube channel called Adaptus Psychotic, something like that. And so I basically is saying that spice in Dune is DMT. And I go, yeah, fuck yeah, it is. And then he starts talking about how back in 2014, there's an article from Daily Grail and saying that magic mushrooms were the inspiration for Frank Herbert's science fiction epic Dune. And I was like, what? I fucking knew it, right? Mm-hmm. And so there was exchanges of communication between Frank Herbert and Paul Stamets. You know who Paul Stamets is, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Paul Stamets is the guru guy that knows everything about mushrooms.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit. So you're telling me that Paul Stamets was in communication with Frank Herbert and they're comparing notes about mushrooms. That's psilocybin. That's magic mushrooms. And so this is where I think no one else is talking about this. And what I think is that Frank Herbert took magic mushrooms, a lot of them probably, and he was inspired by Foundation, right? Because he did this all before. The first science fiction movie was written by a woman and it was Frankenstein back in 1800s, right? Then you have later on you have John Carter Goes to Mars, another sci-fi.
Yeah.
And then you have Buck Rogers, and you have Flash Gordon, and then the first time you have Foundation that involved a galactic empire, which was based off the Roman Empire, right? That's the whole thing was about. But it never went into detail about that. So this time, Frank Herbert was inspired by Foundation and all the other sci-fi and a fucking shitload of fucking magic mushrooms, and then basically came up with politics, came up with religion, came up with the spice. The DMT is the spice, or the magic mushrooms. And so I think he was inspired by that and created all this shit when he was fucking on it. He brought back information. That's what I see.
Wow. Oh, we're getting spammed. I got another comment. The same VA. Now this one's VARK.
No, don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it.
Oh, I said I shouldn't read it out loud.
No, don't read it out loud. Just don't do it.
Do you think it'll shut us down? The audio, saying that in the audio?
Who knows? Just don't show it and don't say it.
Okay, I'm not going to show it anymore. I think
just like
it could be getting...
hairy penis. Don't do it.
Well, I just said I would rather get that than get shut down.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, I'm not going to say anymore. Stop spamming us, people, on YouTube. You YouTubers spamming us over there. Well, I just did a class. I taught a class on TikTok at the Round Rock Library. I want to thank the Round Rock Library for having me on Saturday. And that video is supposed to be yeah, I taught a class at the Round Rock Library on TikTok.
You taught a class?
I did on Saturday.
Holy crap, cool.
Taught a class. And I think it's on their website now, or they save it, they archive it, so you can go back and watch it.
Nice.
But I taught a class, and they had just been bombed. They got bombed on a live themselves. They got shut down, and they got spammed. They called it bombed, but basically, I guess they get spammed a lot. And it shut them down. It was a security breach, and they got shut down. But I don't even know if I should be talking about it. But anyway, it was during their poetry night that happened. A few weeks before. So when I came on, they had like an extra guy in there. It was like an IT security person that was on standby, kind of like Kevin type person. Was on standby, ready to jump in case some chaos ensued while I was on. Anyway, yeah, I'm not going to say. Okay, don't read. I'm not going to read any more stuff out. I'm going to put those up on the screen when those random.
And anyone who sees that, don't click those links, man. Stay away from that stuff.
Oh, that's probably what it is. It's probably if you click the link, that's everything. All hell breaks loose. Don't click the. Don't do it. Don't do it. Okay, here's my favorite of the questions. How did the Baron survive? I asked you that as soon as after we watched the movie. I asked you right after that. Is that going to be answered? Is that going to be answered in the second movie? And then how did he survive?
The only thing I can think of is that when man, that was such a sad moment too, man. When I hear the music too, when that scream and the music, and oh my god, it was so good. It was good. The only thing I think of is that he went up away from the gas, and maybe his fat lard in his body absorbed the poison. Maybe, I don't know. You see that right there, that bath he's taking. The only thing I can think of is that bath is kind of like a charcoal. You know how charcoal is kind of like a filter, right? Yeah. So he's kind of like filtering that stuff out of there. But that's what I can think of. Is like I like to see what's the answer on that? But yeah, I think it's because he went up and his gluttony maybe saved his life, maybe. And I like the way he moved. The whole when he got up in that guy's face, his chest all up in him, I really like that. That was such a cool gravity. Was it? He has like a gravity assist on his backbone. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
That was one of the most interesting characters. And watching how it was the best villain, I think, since this guy.
Sorry, sir. I'm doing my best.
Well, remember how he called him cousin? And cousin, I gotta tell you, you got good food here. Remember he tells him that? Yeah. It's like because they're all related, man. All these royal houses are related in some way. They probably been years, probably. Because House Harkonnen is supposed to come from Russia, and House Atreides is supposed to come from Europe, right? So they're cousins. Yeah, they probably are.
That there was also the character, the guy from Guardians of the Galaxy, that plays his one of his top soldiers.
Polka Dot Man?
What's that?
Polka Dot Man?
No. Well, Polka Dot Man. there's Polka Dot Man from Suicide Squad's in the movie, but also the guy from Guardians of the Galaxy, the big dude.
Oh, you're talking about what's his name? Batista.
Batista.
Yeah, he's good too, man.
He's in there too.
Especially the reaction from Batista to Polka Dot Man. I think it's fucked up. I'm saying their fucking wrong names.
Yeah.
So when he tells them like, how could he take this? How could he take this from us, Uncle? How could he take this from us? And how Polka Dot Man responded back to him, like, don't think a gift is a good thing. You know, he kept explained to him, and it's really cool how Batista's character didn't like yell at him either, because no, he knows that anything this guy says is important because this guy's a living computer.
Yeah.
So he didn't give him any shit. Like he told like he freaks everyone else out around him. It's afraid of him. It's like no, these mentats are real important. That's why the other mentat for House Trades was captured, and there's deleted footage of that. They captured him. I'm pretty sure they haven't showed his they didn't show his death or anything. So he's been captured.
Oh, by the way, before we go to our next question, I want to give a little shout out to our sponsor tonight.
Who's that?
Yeah.
Get out of here.
One, Topo Chico. This
really
episode is brought to you.
Yes,
No, it's not brought to you by Topo Chico. No, I do have a seriously legitimate plug.
I recycled my garlic. What is that?
That is from the Thunderpop shop, Reed. That is a t-shirt you can buy if you go to thunderpopshop.com and shop at the Thunderpop shop for pop culture mashups in the Thunderpop shop. And this is one of the shirts that you can find in the Thunderpop shop is Jack Black Widow.
I like it.
I've got Jack Black Widow t-shirt over in the Thunderpop shop. So get over there. It's Christmas. Stocking stuffers need to be filled for this, with care, as they say. So you go by the Thunderpop shop and you get you a Jack Black Widow shirt. You do. And actually the site's down right now for some reason. I have no idea why it's down. So
it's getting hacked.
What's that?
It's getting hacked.
It's probably been hacked.
God damn.
God damn. Oh, wait. You know what? I just typed it in wrong. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
I thought it would have made sense.
How many questions have we done so far?
We are close. We are actually now at the third question. Okay, here's the fourth question for you. Actually, this will be the fifth question. This next one. What is the origin? And I think you covered this a little bit already. What is it you covered that? We kind of hit this question a little bit. What is the origin and potential of spice? And you answered that question already. Do you have any more you could add to that?
There's more to add to it. So, Arrakis was a planet that actually was like Earth, right? It actually had like oceans, and it was like had forests and shit like that. So what happens is it turned to desert eventually, but they're all that's like Mars. All the water is on the ground.
Yeah.
And these worms are not native to the planet. They were brought there, and for some reason they just thrived, and they grew and grew and grew and grew.
Mm-hmm.
And so this particular worm, right, has a hard shell on the outside, so they don't really have an anus, right? And so they basically shit through their skin, or they secrete like in an aquarium tank, you basically have ammonia and you have nitrates. So basically, that's like piss and shit in the water. So these particular worms secrete their urine and then their poop out their body through little cracks. And when you see their scales, right, the shit is in between the scales that comes out, kind of oozes out. So the bacteria that's on the planet, the bacteria attaches to the poop and the pee, and that is where spice is from. And so when that rubs off, it's a combination of poop and pee with algae, with a fungus, a fungus from like psilocybin, like a fungus, right? It mixes with it, and so it turns into spice. And so that's where spice is from. I thought that was really cool. It's like, whoa, that's how that works. Yeah,
that is some shit there.
The shit is getting real. Oh yes, things getting serious. Dude, did you hear what I said? The shit just got real.
Yeah.
So
the shit is getting
okay.
they're marching down on that shit. Oh, I live longer. Oh, I can see the future. Yeah.
Oh my god.
I can fold space.
Oh my gosh. That is the sickest thing that you
See,
can imagine.
everything is analog in that world.
Mhm.
There's no computers.
Mhm.
Like we don't have AI, right? Because everything they had the Butlerian Jihad, which basically is a robot war. They killed everything. They destroyed all robots that had AI, and so everything
That takes place before this story.
Yeah, like thousands of years ago.
Would that be a good prequel? Could that possibly be made at some point?
Well, that's what Frank's son focused on, was a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
He expanded on a lot of that stuff, and a lot of people don't really want to accept. There's two different camps when it comes to Dune.
Yeah.
There's a camp that acknowledges everything that Frank Herbert did, and totally disavows everything that his son did.
Yeah.
And so when it comes to Frank Herbert, it's basically the first 6 books. The seventh book was never done, right? Yeah. So his son kind of finished up on that. But the first 6 books that were done by Herbert, and the encyclopedia that was given the christening that it was legit. The encyclopedia and all the 6 books are together. But then the son added all the other stories. He expanded on them and stuff. And so some of those stories kind of conflict with the encyclopedia, and that's the gripe. That's the fight.
That's the controversy.
Yeah.
Why couldn't he have why couldn't he have done those stories to where they don't go against the encyclopedia on some things? Is it impossible for him to have gotten everything? Or is it that he was too late? He didn't try hard enough?
Well, he really didn't. I don't know. Maybe he wanted to expand on certain things, and maybe he enjoyed the story probably and wanted to expand on it, and the encyclopedia kind of got in the way. And so since he has the rights to it, he kind of has gotten rid of the encyclopedia. But people have copies of it and stuff. Those are copies are like $100.
Oh, he kind of deleted, like, got rid of it. Like, he kind of
it's the same thing with Star Wars. Like Star Wars, pissed away. Like Star Wars not acknowledging legends, like everything that's non-canon. Right?
Exactly, like the legends, like Disney did with the Legends books of Star Wars. He's kind of
Dune has their own politics going on too, which I was like, oh, I didn't know about that. And there's another guy.
Is he the sole proprietor? Is he the sole proprietor, or does he share it with anybody?
No, he's the sole proprietor. And so there's a guy on YouTube. I forgot his YouTube channel, but he actually explained all the books when they came out, the comic books and everything. I was like, oh, great! This guy. I like to give him credit for what he because he basically does a brief on all the books when they came out, who wrote them, who was involved, and it explained everything. And so he's definitely a guy who is against the son. He doesn't like what the son has done as far as like. It's nice to expand, but get with the program, get with the encyclopedia, get with the original thing, the original 6. So it's interesting politics. Hey, Picard.
Yeah, you can see it. Okay, there. I can't see it on my side. You can see it?
I saw it for a flash real quick.
Oh, here it is.
And then David Lynch.
There it is. Oh, yeah. And then David Lynch said, we got to actually move the underway. Okay, there.
Make it slow.
Make it slow.
Yeah.
And then David Lynch said, make it slow. Make it slow.
Movie. Yeah. I think the guy that his character, Picard paid Stewart. I think they got the right actor for that. I don't like the actor, but I think it was good. I think it was a better choice.
The actor that took over, in the new.
And he was in Mario too before that. He's been with him before.
Yeah, somebody that he's comfortable working with. And directors do that. Directors will have actors that they like.
The picture.
Oh, yes. And Reed sent me this picture, and I want to put this. Let me go track it down.
Fucking bullshit.
Here it is.
There.
Okay, this one. And this isn't that the What If?
No, those are the entities that I saw when I did DMT.
That's the Watcher. Did you watch the What If on Marvel What If?
No, that is an image of the entities that I saw.
It looks like the Watcher on the What If. You know who I'm talking about, don't you?
No.
He sees all in the Marvel, all the multiverses.
Oh, Okay.
That character in the multi. I'm going to show you this here in a second. I'm going to show you how similar that is. I didn't realize it when you sent it to me. I just thought that's a beautiful and very interesting photo.
Yeah.
Go ahead and tell me. Yeah, elaborate on that photo, and I'll show you the picture here in a little bit.
No, I just from when I did DMT and I wrote a trip report when I did Bufo, which is 5-MeO DMT. That's what I saw. I saw entities and I saw their eyes, and I tried to look for a photo that was the closest resemblance of that, and that's what I found. Yep, that's who I saw. Those are the gods that I saw.
Now you've gone. How many times have you done have you done twice? Have you been to the DMT church twice?
I've been there twice, but I've only done Bufo once, and I did ayahuasca once, and yeah, that's even once is pretty incredible.
When do you do it again? When do you go back to do another round?
I definitely want to go back in March again and do more ayahuasca, but definitely it did heal me, but I'm going through some stuff right now, so I think I definitely need something. Because I know the VA now is doing where they can do psilocybin, and so I'm gonna try
What's
to
that?
talk. The VA is trying to pass psilocybin, magic mushrooms, for treatment.
As like something they can prescribe?
Yeah, like microdosing. Yeah, I definitely.
Is it legal in the states? Legal in Texas for being prescribed for medicinal reasons?
I don't think so yet. It's like it's experimental, but it's definitely better than the shit that they're putting out. But when the church that I went to, it's legal there, on the grounds.
On the grounds, yeah.
Under their, it's their sacrament. It's part of their religion, and I'm honored and give just like in awe that they let me partake in that. There's certain rules you got to take. Like you can't be on drugs, bullshit drugs. You can't be drunk. You have to make sure you eat right before you get there. There's a lot of this. It's not to be taken lightly. That's for sure.
Okay, here, check this out.
Oh, okay.
The Watcher. And that's the from.
Well, yeah,
from
in a
Marvel's
way, yeah, they were watching me too. Yeah, they were with their bright eyes. Yeah. Yep.
And there's the
only thing is I couldn't see a silhouette. There was no silhouette.
Yeah, here there's a silhouette.
Yeah, well, mine too, but yeah, man. But the ones I saw were like stars. They were bright. They were stars. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's pretty cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah. It's the Marvel's What If, and that the whole premise is that the What If the Watcher sees all the multiverses. He's the only person that is a mediator of sorts between all the different multiverses.
Wow.
In the Marvel.
That's something I wanted to talk. Remember that one line? I can read it here.
Yeah.
The mystery of life isn't a problem to solve, but a reality to experience. A process that cannot be understood by stopping it. We must flow. We must move with the flow of the process. We must join it. We must flow with it. Let it go. Let it go. And so, like, I think that quote there from the movie, I was like, whoa, shit. That's just weird about this, spice. DMT is spice. Like I've drank it, I've smoked it. Like, yeah, I know what that's about. And the thing too is like these, that particular quote really hit. I was like, yeah, I understand that. There's a lot of things about this Frank Herbert. He definitely was inspired by, because see, the first time that Bufo was done, which is 5-MeO from the Sonoran Desert Frog, I think that was in the 80s. So DMT as 5-MeO from the Sonoran Desert Frog, Bufo alvarez, wasn't there. And so ayahuasca was, but ayahuasca was not being done in North America. It was being done in South America. You had to go down to South America to do it back during that time. And so when he made, in 1965, when he wrote Dune and put it out, the only thing that was available was psilocybin, magic mushrooms. So there's no doubt that I think that he definitely, because the shit, if you go back and listen to all the quotes that Frank Herbert wrote in the book, you'll see that. It's pretty, a lot. That's definitely where he got it from. What'd you say?
Judson says, I think ketamine microdosing has been legalized in Texas. Lost Last I checked, MDMA with therapy was supposed to be realized this year, but I don't know if it's actually been done yet. So
Yeah, those things. When people talk about ketamine and microdosing and MDMA, those are, I don't know too much about. But I will say that there's different tiers, right? You know what tiers like? Tier 5, tier 0, tier 1. When I say like tier 1, I'm talking about like special forces, JSOC, DevGro, like those like badass soldiers, like they're tier 1 soldiers. I would think I was like maybe tier 5 when it came to like me being 82nd Airborne. I'm like tier 5, like bottom of the barrel. So when I talk about drugs, when you talk about like marijuana, cocaine, crack, beer, alcohol, tobacco, sugar, salt, whatever. Those are all shit drugs. Those are all the bottom of the barrel. And tier 0 is 5-MeO DMT. Tier in that same category is ayahuasca and then DMT. Psilocybin is tier 1. LSD is like maybe tier 2. So when you talk about like, they're not considered tier 0, as far as I'm concerned, it's not considered, it's not a drug, that's a medicine. So when I talk about bufo and ayahuasca, that's tier 0. That's God. That's Mother Earth. That's medicine. And so when all these like this MDMA and ketamine, they're probably tier 5. I don't know too much about them. I'm not going to waste my time with them, but I'm not going to piss on them or anything. Okay, if it's good, check it out. Yeah, because but I don't do it for recreation. I do it for the journey, basically. You know what I'm saying? Like this journey that when the movies come, hopefully that Dune 2 comes out, right? The third movie, and maybe it goes on further on when it gets to the God Emperor. And that's when it gets really, really fucking cool. It starts to really, really change. I think it gets a little wacky later on, but like when you look at book 7, right? Book 7, very, very, very end of the book. I'll probably spoil it for people who haven't read it though. But from what I've heard and read too, the last paragraph, last page in the book, whatever, there's a break-in with the fourth wall there, and it's almost like there's a couple that's observing the entire universe. It's kind of weird. So that goes on further, way down the line. So another 15,000 years passes after Dune. And you also think about too, before Dune started, you're talking about 34,000 years back to Earth. And when you look at the encyclopedia, the first mentioning that they mention is the Roman Empire. And House Atreides can find their link all the way back to the Roman Empire. So you're And so they mentioned, it's kind of cool because they mentioned Earth and they mentioned the capital moves from Rome to London to Washington, D.C. Like, it's the Western Empire. It's the Roman, it's like the capital of the world moves. Well, because it's the most powerful nation. And so for them to think of the United States as an ancient empire, ancient culture, is the way we look back 34,000 years back to when humans just got to the Europe. You ever heard a story of the Red Lady of Apollon in England? So there was a skeleton that was found in the Goat Cave in Wales, and there's a preacher that was trying to. He's a preacher. He believed everything in the Bible was gospel. He believed everything in the Bible was the truth, and he knew about archaeology. And he started seeing, these numbers are a little different than 6,000 years. They're saying the Earth is older than 6,000 years. Like, oh shit! And so he found this cave. They said they found an elephant skeleton in the cave, and they went in there, and they realized, there's hyena skulls in here. There's rhinoceros skulls in here. There's a woolly mammoth skull in here. What the hell's going on? So he thought that it was the Great Flood of Noah's flood that washed these creatures into the cave. But they found out later on that when he found the body of a young man that was buried there, it was a burial. And so when he unburied the skeleton, he noticed there was red powder on the skeleton. And he thought, this is makeup. must be a prostitute. That's what he thought. And he saw periwinkle shells, and he's like, "Oh, this is jewelry. So this must be a prostitute during the Roman Empire," because he found ruins up above, above the cave. There, he mistakenly took him for the Roman ruins. So he called the Red Lady of Pavlov, and that was a prostitute. So this is back in like 1800s when they found this, and so the equivalent from Dune to the United States is the equivalent from us now to the Lady of Pavlov. It's 34,000 years ago, right? And so back then, but it ended up being this is a man that was buried that died. They don't know how he died. He's young, and this was when the coast was 75 miles further out. Because if you go to this cave now, the Goat's Cave, the shore is right there in front of the cave. But 34,000 years ago, the shore was 75 miles out. That's where the shore was. It's because it was the Ice Age. So it's kind of cool when you think of the story is this many years, but in reality, this is this many years. And again, they forgot where Earth was too. They don't know where Earth. They don't know they come from Earth. The Earth got hit by a comet, was destroyed, and they went back and they fertilized it, made it back to a planet, but they decided to go ahead and just, Oh,
Got it. The tech department has tech department. We need Kevin.
How long have we been? Oh my God, an hour. Okay. Did you get everything? Is there anything more you wanted to cover?
We got a message from our IT department that there was a concern, of a possible security breach because of what happened, and they actually do want me to get off soon because they've been monitoring the CPU levels, and there's all this weird stuff that's going on.
You gotta get a fan on it, man. Get a fan on it.
I got a fan. It's running below it.
Oh, geez.
Apparently, the message I received is that there's a CPU right now of 720, which is very unusual on a kernel task.
Whoa.
Anything over 100 is usually, And I've been noticing. Yeah, we did get through the 5 questions.
Okay, good.
I've been noticing that it's been freezing up a little bit, and then I looked, and it was the CPU on that was like, whoa.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. So we'll have to do some troubleshooting after I get off to see what's going on. If we were spammed or anything. I run a security scan.
Good.
It goes scans everything. I had one more thing I want to ask you. What was it? Oh, I've been just watching the documentary. I started watching it the other night. It's called it's a Beatles documentary that Peter Jackson directed, or he produced and directed and edited. It's a footage that was already existing of the sessions from the Beatles sessions that they had done, and it was after they had stopped touring and they weren't going to tour anymore, and then they decided to do this live show in kind of a big recording soundstage. And what I've seen of the documentary so far, it's just a lot of raw, like them sitting around talking, kind of like stuff you never see. It's behind the scenes stuff. It's not over like
that's the second documentary he's done. The first documentary was about his grandfather in World War One.
Yeah.
All that one. So he's doing this. That's really cool. He's doing
So it's just he lets it run and just lets you see them in the raw, and it's redigitized, so it looks really good. It looks brand new, like brand new footage, but it's just like very raw. It's like them seeing them in their everyday kind of like surroundings and what they're like and what it's like, and it's not edited, it's not overcut, and it's just it just runs. I would love to see more of that. How cool would it have been around the time David Lynch was doing the original Dune? Did he meet George Lucas? Did him and George Lucas know each other? Did they run into each other and have a conversation about his experience making Dune? Did he talk to?
Was it 85? Yeah, because he had already done Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back. So yeah, I'm pretty sure he knew. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'd like to see more of that, where you could just see these people in like filmmakers, creators crossing paths and just raw and not just letting it go and seeing them kind of and if I could have these glimpses of that over time, like I was able to have of the Beatles in this documentary of like George Lucas and David Lynch. And
well, the same thing with the Jason Momoa. everything you see of Jason Momoa in the desert, that was him going out and doing that on his own.
Yeah.
And when he showed
When he
showed Denny, he's like, "When did you shoot this?" I go, "Yesterday." Where? Give me the location. And so they went out there.
Yeah.
And he liked what he saw because he dressed up a character and went out there and just fucking around. And it's gorgeous. You ever been in the desert? I've been in like a NTC when I was in California. It's near Vegas in California.
I've drove through the desert. I mean, I haven't walked.
It's really pretty. It's dangerous, but it's like no dangerous. The desert is beautiful.
You don't want to go on a hike if you don't know out in the desert for miles, and if you don't know late in the day in the summer. Hey, speaking of wilderness and terrain, and this is just totally off the kind of beaten path. You living now out kind of more east of town, southeast. Would you be kind of southeast of Austin? Southeastish. Okay.
What do you want to know, man?
So going out that direction, there's Del Valley, there's Bastrop. So Del Valley, which is just past the airport of Austin, where we live. I didn't know this, but there's an alligator sanctuary.
What?
In Del Valley.
I didn't know that.
So somehow, some way, somebody or some entity has been able to keep alligators in Del Valley in a creek or whatever, and they call it an alligator sanctuary. Anyway, some of the alligators got loose. I don't even know what keeps the alligators like pinned up. Can you even have an alligator be captive in a enclosed area? I don't know if that's even like without a big tall brick wall, like concrete wall.
Yeah.
You have to have
as long as you feed them, because the same thing as a frog. Like frogs and turtles will leave a pond and go somewhere else.
Well, one of them got loose. I guess no, actually several, a band of them got loose and just apparently into somebody's yard and ate a dog.
Oh no!
Like they all got into one of them won the battle for the dog because it was the alligators were kind of like in a fighting for the food, so anyway, it was a terrible story. But I'm like, that's an epic fail for the alligator sanctuary for letting that happen.
Yeah.
Now I could be getting the story mixed up. Maybe the dog got loose and got into the sanctuary. All I know is that the alligators got some neighbor's dog.
It's funny you say that because I just today I heard some ruckus outside and chicken. And I saw a dog running down the road with a chicken in his mouth.
That's how you know Reed lives in the country now. He's not in Austin.
Yeah, the chickens run around wild, and the dog got that one chicken. I was like, oh, poor chicken. So yeah, that's life, man. Life is pain.
Didn't even get fried.
Raw salmonella.
The worst way to go. The worst way to go.
That's how he just took out a dinosaur, a little baby dinosaur he got. So got a little baby dinosaur.
Yeah. Well, it's like the food chain though, because you got to talk about the dog getting the chicken. Well, the alligator said, "No, I'll get you, dog." The alligator got the dog. The dog though can get the chicken. The chicken can get the rat. The chicken gets the rat, right? Do they kill rats? Chickens?
Yeah, they attack rats. Yeah.
Yeah, and then rats would get like basically a worm, or I guess maybe
possums will eat rats too. Yeah.
I saw a fat possum scale a fence the other day. It was hilarious.
Yeah, the possums are good. Possums are good. Don't hurt them. They're actually good for them.
Yeah, it was perched up on top of the fence, and then it was just chilling there on the fence. But you could see it flab. It was like the Baron. Its flab was like hanging off both sides of the fence. Yeah, it was pretty funny. Well, we're gonna wrap it up. We're gonna go check our CPU levels because there was a security earlier. There was a security issue. I opened up 2 messages that had some random spam, and then our computer started having a high CPU. So I don't know if it's issue or not.
Christ.
So I'm gonna go check that out, and then Reed Charles, thank you for joining us.
Oh, thanks for having me on, man. It's been fun.
Have a nice casual conversation on Dune and DMT.
I definitely recommend you see it. It's really good. Yeah, man. There's a lot more to it than just. There's a lot deeper things. There's a lot more deeper thought there when this was written. Yeah. that
Oh,
was more
and I was just talking about another one of those random. I'm not going to say it out loud.
Oh, you still there? I can. Oh boy, what happened? Oh man, I see that the timer clock. Okay, we're at an hour 20. I'm still on. Looks like it. Man, you just got nuked. Somebody nuked you. Oh boy. Oh, computer died. Oh my god. Damn it. I'm still on. I guess this is me now. So what do we talk about? Let's see. Let's talk about Brian Murescu. Brian Murescu wrote a book called The Immortality Key, The Religion with No Name. And there are a lot of similarities of what he's covering in that book, dealing with the Greek mysteries. I'm going to keep talking. You guys still see us live at an hour and 20. So I would say there's definitely some similarities. We're going to go off of Dune now and talk about psychedelics now. There's a lot of similarities between the Greek mysteries and ayahuasca, because in the Greek mysteries, the Greeks brought back information. And when they drank the spiked wine, they were visited by. Oh, there you are.
Did you?
I just kept on talking. I'll talk
You were
about.
still. So you were still on. You got to stay on.
Yeah, I
Did you
just
keep the
kept
show
talking.
going?
I was talking about Brian Murescu on the Greek mysteries. And,
Oh, hold on. Let me get.
Because I was like, my picture took up the whole screen. Oh, okay. So let's talk about psychedelics.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna close the show out because my mic and everything got disconnected. I'm talking straight into the computer. But thank you for keeping the show going. That's the first that's ever happened.
I left him on. He froze up again. No, you're still there.
Okay, everybody have a good day. Hour, second, millisecond. Thank you, Reed Charles. Everybody have a good night. Well, that was an interesting one.
Yeah, we'll talk about the psychedelics next time.